our VP a round of applause, guys. She did a great job. It's not working. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right, so if you can see, we have our agenda up on, you can move that there if you like. As you can tell, we have a jam-packed agenda, but our goal is to make sure to keep you informed as to what we're doing and what we need to do. So, can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay, this is not working. I have a big mouth anyway, right? So, as you can see, we do have our agenda up here, and I won't speak that much, not yet. So we do have roll call if we can bring Secretary Williams up. And then, in order of our chair people, once we get to that part, and our treasurer, sorry, we don't have a mic, so you're gonna have to come up and speak up. Try to see if this works. It's the battery.
Will all executive members please stand? Can we get a roll call, please? Starting with our president.
Here.
Here, Chairman Reed.
Chauncey Thompson, President.
Dean Douglas.
Andrea Wilson. David Stockton, Clock.
And Record. Erica Williams, Secretary.
Okay. Want to go to the minutes?
Yes, so the April meeting minutes have been submitted. Does anyone have any questions? If not, can I get a motion to submit the April meeting? Submitting April minutes?
I motion the distribution.
Can I get a second?
It's passed.
Oh, it's passed. It doesn't.
Yeah. Okay, so our April minutes have been approved. So at this point, we would like our treasurer to come up for the treasurer's report, which has also been emailed out to members. You guys speak up, we don't have a mic.
Oh, okay. Hello, my name is Andrea Wilson, and I am the treasurer. I am the treasurer. The treasurer report was submitted, and if anyone has any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Any questions on the treasurer's report?
No questions.
All right.
Can we get a motion to accept?
I move to accept the treasurer's report.
Can I get a second? The treasurer's report for April has been accepted. Thank you, Treasurer Wilson. All right, on to new business. So thank you. We need to do that because the standard part of the NAACP is that we remain transparent to the general membership. And if you have not seen the meeting minutes or the treasurer's report for our two accounts, it will be up on our NAACP Red website. BJ. Where did he go? Okay, it'll be up on the website for you to be able to download. As Thurman mentioned, we are under new administration, which we are happy. We're 60, 70 days in, so woohoo! Round of applause for that. Let me tell you, it's nothing like putting out fires that you didn't start. But it's okay, because old does kind of eventually get rid of it. And our focal area, 4 focal areas for our branch are as follows. Membership. Membership is important. As you can tell, thank you. Testing, yes, it's working. Wow, committee chairs. Running the branch is not easy. We are 14 strong, but that's not 14 strong at all. We need everyone's input, everyone's help, everyone's volunteer in any way that you feel like you can help us out. Fundraising. We are a nonprofit. We have general operation funds, we have scholarships, we talk about economic development and sustainability. Well, we are part of that. So that is a focal area for us. Voter registration. Voter registration is extremely important, not just where we are, in the state we're in, but where we're headed. You know, midterms are coming up in 2026, not just in our county, but on the federal level and in all these areas. So if you don't have a voter registration, or if you're not registered to vote, we need you to. And if so, if you want to help us out, we can always use your help. And community engagement. As president, my number one concern is you. We serve you, and we need you to help us serve you. So that's why we have this open forum tonight. Our goal tonight is to meet and greet, community reconnections, and the Maryland Blueprints. Because we realize as a branch, you might know us virtually, but we're no longer part of the pandemic. So you're gonna see more in-person meetings. You see our committee chairs that are around at the tables, and we want you to get to know us so that we can get to know what is important for you. We can only serve when we know what's going on. And don't get it twisted, please. We can't put all fires out, but we can at least hear your feedback and be that advocacy and that leadership on the ground and in areas and places where we could be. So with that being said, that's our 4 focal areas over the next 2 years. Membership, fundraising, voter registration, and community engagement. Please always keep those 4 things in mind. So before we get to our presentation today, I'm going to ask each of the committee chairs to come up. As VP Thurman said, we're starting all over with our committees. And we're doing that because it's important for me as president and our executive committee to be aligned with nationals. In case you don't know, there's a national NAACP, there's a Maryland State Conference, and then there are individual branches. We fall in Baltimore County one of 2 NAACP branches. We don't do it like Baltimore County, we don't do it like Baltimore City, Harford County, Howard County, we do it the Randallstown way. But just to let you know, we stay in alignment with what nationals require. Maryland State is doing and what we're going to do it the Randallstown way. So starting off with our WIN committee report. WIN is Women in the NAACP. I actually was the chairperson before I sent it to president, and I'm excited. We launched our first WIN conference this past March with about 100 plus people in the room. The testimony was phenomenal. It's exactly what women wanted, a safe place that they can connect, thrive, and understand that they're supported. We have a WIN brunch that is coming up in the fall with 3 individual awards for those that are doing great work in the community. We have our WIN members in here as well. We're hoping that you can support us. And not just us, WIN is not just for women, but also children. They are the ascension to the next young adult. So that is what our WIN committee is doing. And hopefully registration for our WIN charitable brunch open up on June 1st, which is this Sunday. And our event will be this fall. So hopefully men, invite your wives, children, male or female, and come on out and support us. Political action, Chairman Williams. You can stay down if you like.
Okay, so I will be hosting our first meeting in June. The Political Action Committee, we are focusing on voter registration. I'm actually in the process of being able to register people to vote. We will be looking at legislation, and we will be also focusing on the census that is coming up in the upcoming election in 2026. So if anyone is interested, please come see me. I'm still recruiting for members. That's it.
All right, you can pass it to Education Chair.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Ingrid Savio McLaughlin. Again, I am the chair for the Education Committee. The hope is to connect with the local PTAs and the local community in terms of issues that they're concerned about when it comes to education. We still want to make sure that we close those achievement gaps, that we make opportunities for our students to be able to travel abroad, to be global citizens. So if you're interested in the Education Committee, please come and see me. The hope is to have a meeting in June.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming tonight. My name is Nate Kepler. I am on the executive committee of the NAACP. I am also the chair of the LGBTQ committee. It's gonna be on a little bit of a pause for some personal stuff, but we are interested in kind of redeveloping that committee. So if you know of anyone, or if you're here tonight and you know somebody that might be interested in discussing LGBTQ issues in Randallstown, especially as they impact intersectionality, please reach out to me tonight, get my information. Even though the committee is technically on a pause, I'm still very much invested, and I would love to discuss how we can make those areas in Randallstown much better.
Thank you, Chairman Barry. Thanks, Sam.
Thanks for coming. I'm Heather Berry. I'm an executive committee member at large. I'm serving 2 roles this evening. I'm so glad to see everyone here. Thank you for coming. So I'm the chairperson of the Committee on Community Coordination, and definitely soliciting for new members on this committee. And what that committee does is pretty much support, kind of enlist the support of other organizations doing what we're doing in the community on issues affecting the interests of African Americans and other communities of color. So if you are heavily engaged in the community with different organizations and want to join that committee, so that, there's strength in numbers for sure. And we kind of then advocate for the events that we have going on in the committee. So I will shift to the membership committee, which we have about 7 events where at every event, we're soliciting for new members, right? So we have a table at the back right now. So the membership committee has 4 members right now, including the chair. We've recently received supplies and other items from our branch storage location, and you'll see those items in the back. So when we do go to community events, we set up a table, as you'll see in the back, and we actually solicit for memberships. When requested, we have, between May and June, we have 7 events. Just last weekend, we were here in this room at the Morgan State University Alumni Association of Baltimore County's Health Fair. So we had a table and we had approximately 33 visitors. Tomorrow, well, today, actually, we're soliciting for members, obviously, at our general meeting. On May 30th, this Friday, we're gonna be at Deer Park Elementary PTA Spring Fair from 5 to 7. So if you join today, if you're not a member and you want to join the membership committee, that is a direct action that you can take today, because we do need volunteers for that event coming up on Friday. Then on Saturday, we have the Friends of the NAACP Freedom Fund, which Dr. Dorsey spoke about, President Dorsey. And then on June 7th, we have a community resource fair and Juneteenth 5K at Northwest Regional Park. So we will need folks from the membership committee at that event. And then there's 2 events on Juneteenth at 2 different times, one here and then one at the RCC from noon to 4, and then one in the morning at Northwest Regional Park. June 8th, we will be at the Pikesville Arts and Crafts Festival from 11 to 4 in Pikesville. And then June 14th, there is a celebration at the Woodlawn Library from 12 to noon. This report was submitted by the chairperson who couldn't be here today. She was here earlier, but she had to leave, and that was Sheila Lewis. Any questions?
Are all those events online? Can we share those with people more broadly online?
Yes, they are on the website at randandnaacp.org. Yes, and you probably have a packet of information, and some of those events might be in the packet of information.
Shante Thompson?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out. So I'm Shante Thompson. I am the chairwoman of criminal justice, and we aim to take care of any injustices that directly impact our community. So don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or support that you may need that my team and I may be able to help with. We're glad to help you sort through the ideas and come up with solutions for sure. I am actively recruiting for the criminal justice team. We do need one more person to kind of solidify our role within the NAACP Randallstown branch. So if that's something that you're interested in, feel free to reach out to us. And thank you again for coming out. And next up is going to be Chairman Rose, Dr. Rose. Dr. Rose not here. How about Chairman Lewis? Oh, I was in a meeting, sorry. Okay. Finance.
Good evening, everyone. Again, I guess you can hear me now. I'm Chairman of the Finance Committee. I'm Andrina Wilson, also known as Andy. The goal of the Finance Committee is to raise funds for our general operations as well as scholarships. We're currently working on a budget for the branch for this year. But one of the main things that we will be focusing on is fundraising. So please stand by for communications about different fundraising opportunities. And remember, we are a team. We work together as a group, and financing and fundraising is something that we have to do together as a group. So I really do hope to see you all participate in upcoming fundraising opportunities. And thank you very much. Any questions? Okay.
So what's exciting for me is the fact, as you can see, that we have people, our chair people, that are willing and taking a helm in these committees. You know, that has not been something that has been a part of a staple of our branch, but in our rebranding, we want to make sure that, oh, I'm sorry, Chairman Harold, please come to the front. Chairman Harold just came on board as our Economic Sustainability Chairman just the last 24 hours, which is why he's not on here. But we are excited to have him, so go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Again, thank you for coming out in the very bad weather that we're having today. So I recently accepted the chairman role for the Economic Committee here in Randallstown, and I'm very excited to be a part of this organization and to protect and grow the NAACP brand. I'm looking to foster and create opportunities economically for our community, for our youth, and for everyone that's looking to be gainfully employed and to overall make things better for everyone. Again, like everyone else, everyone has put out the request for membership. Same thing here. I'm looking for good people to help me with this mission. All right. If any questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
And again, without our chair people, our branch would not be successful. We are taking on 3 interns for the first time ever in our history. And the first person is standing over there, which is Haley Simon. She's a rising senior at Spelman College. Her major is photography with a minor in management and organization. She's also the CEO of Health Enterprises, so she's joining our communications and marketing team to help us tell our story and things over the summer. We also have, stand up please, beloved Joshua. He is a 17-year-old rising senior at Morehouse College, computer science major. He's also part of our communications team, and we'll be working with Lamont as our webmaster for over the summer with their intern. And then we have a third intern from PG County that's coming on for communications. So the greatest thing we can do is be a bridge to our youth and young adults today and giving them a way not just to build their resume, but also their professional experience. And they're gonna help us out tremendously this summer. And so I wanna go into what's next, which is why we're here. As we know, education is one of those important topics that we've been battling in our county, not just for Randallstown, but across the state of Maryland and across the world. One thing, as I thought about, how can we as a branch dial in, and I had this conversation with Chairman Savio McLaughlin, is that the Maryland Blueprint is actually a solution. It's a solution broken down into 5 pillars.
And as we have people going to the Board of Education and meeting Dr. Rogers and the county executive and things like that, I think they forget the power of the blueprint, or even what the blueprint is. So the goal tonight is just to give an overview of the 5 pillars of the Maryland Blueprint. It is with hopes that we can create discussion and solutions so we can hear from you, our constituents in Randallstown, what your thoughts are. Because we don't wanna go to another board meeting and not talk substance, right? But when we can talk the language that's been outlined in a blueprint, a 10-year blueprint that has already been in the mix for the last 4 to 5 years, then we're talking solutions that already make sense. And so this is what the overview, Maryland Blueprint for Excellence. So Ralph Nader, anyone that knows me that's in the training, I'm always quoting leaders, right? Because that's important to me. And so Ralph Nader stated, the function of leadership is to produce more leaders, not followers. And that is something that I, and our committee, and our executive committee take wholeheartedly. So you're here today as a member, but we want you to actively step up, engage, and lead differently from the presentation tonight in this area of education. The objective is to familiarize yourself with Maryland's blueprint, to find a place you feel passionate about, not what we say, but what provokes you, enough to make a difference. We do want you, as you heard tonight, to join the fight. File Randallstown NAACP branch 7032B, in case you didn't know what our number was, say 7032B. Let me hear you say it. Y'all not loud enough, let me hear you say it. Boom, y'all gonna be dreaming about it later. All right, and then to become a transformative change agent in your community through advocacy, outreach, and civic engagement. Okay, the blueprint for Maryland's future. Oh, by the way, it's paper on your table. Please grab one. There's some pens in the background. Heather or Shantae, if you guys can pass it out so people can take notes, because you know y'all, there's a discussion at the end, right? Y'all thought y'all was just gonna come here and sit. Nah, that's not how we work. We want engagement because we're gonna hand y'all a mic soon. Okay, go ahead, BJ. So what is the blueprint for Maryland's future? It's the compass of 5 pillars. Say 5. Say 5. Who can speak Spanish? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. There we go. Who's speaking Latin? Anyway, those 5 pillars are an overview of how Maryland plans to address the issues that's happening with our youth, underserved, marginalized, those living in poverty, all the way through to hopefully leading them to excellence. Each individual has key initiatives aimed at transforming the quality of education in Maryland. Pillar 1, and these are just viewpoints, okay? Tidbits. Go, BJ. The first one is the early childhood education. This pillar focuses on expanding access to high-quality pre-kindergarten programs and ensuring all children have a strong start to education. If you're following the stats in education today, it's right around elementary, middle, but mainly high school where you start seeing these dips in academics in a certain area, students not being tested, students might not be getting the resources or things needed, but has anyone ever thought that it really starts at the preschool age? Child care centers, daycare centers, that's their first introduction to education. Not just students, but who else? Parents. Students are introduced, parents are introduced. Who else does early education impact? Come on, y'all thinkers. We got youth, we got parents, who else? Community, right? What else is impacted? Youth, parents, community, what else? Families. What else do families go through? Hardships. Poverty. What else? Crime. What else? Mental issues. What else? Lack of employment. What else? So even if we stop there, aren't these the same issues that parents and youth deal at the middle school level, at the high school level, and when they transition into the real world? Yes, they start at the core, but kindergarten and preschool and daycare centers are what
it's a population that have been left out of the Maryland Blueprints discussion. And that's what we're hoping to tap into. There are, about a month ago, I actually spoke to about 50, at least did an outreach, to about 50 daycare centers. A quarter of them were closed, but they're still listed. Some of them hung up on me. Yes, they actually hung up on me. And then I got some individuals. But those business owners, those daycare centers, are the foundation to what's gonna help us understand what's happening before the students and the parents enter the K-12 pipeline. So pillar one is making sure that pre-3 and pre-4 students have a strong introduction to education. So MSDE is charged with establishing and implementing high-quality pre-kindergarten programming for all 3 and 4-year-olds with family incomes earning at or below 300% of the poverty level. And during research, people that's making up to about $90,000 can still end up getting a stipend to get their youth into qualified childcare centers in Baltimore County. There are I forgot the name of them, but it's one on the east side and I think 2 on the west side. But we have about 900,000 constituents in Baltimore County. That's not enough. And so my question to you is, do you know where those facilities are? Do you know how our constituents can actually get to them? That's a rhetorical question. Hold on. Okay, that's number one. Pillar, any questions so far? Y'all with me? Y'all follow me? Remember, it's just an overview. We're not doing a deep dive. That's where y'all have to do your homework because we ain't got enough time. Okay, pillar 2, high quality and diverse teachers. This is where the Maryland Blueprint has decided, or hopefully is offsetting the income or salaries for teachers. Baltimore County, about 2 years ago, I believe, had a discussion with the teachers union and they upped the teacher salary to, I think, $57,000 per year, which is supposed to be comparable with other school districts in the state of Maryland. Anyone remember that, Nick?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
You want tell us about it?
Well, so Baltimore County preemptively, or I guess earlier than it had to, tried to meet that $60,000 minimum threshold that was set by Blueprint. The issue now, of course, is that the county, facing the fiscal crisis, is deciding that it wants to break that contract in year 2 of the 3-year contract.
Right, solution, problem, back to the solution. However, their goal in trying to make it comparable, compatible to keep teachers worked, but then as we just heard, it's being broken. We still have a lot of substitutes in the classroom, right? Some that are not necessarily certified, but at least they're there, but that's still having an impact on quality and the content of the education and the gaps. And we have an opportunity to at least have a voice. So when we're thinking of pillar 2, we're thinking of high quality and diverse teachers and leaders, which at the end of the day is based off salaries, right? And whether, like we just heard from Nick Stewart, they're trying to break the contract year 2, what's gonna happen, but a lot has to do with the current administration. No, this is actually not our current administration, but it is having an impact. So your voice, your advocacy, your input is needed so that we know how to pivot as a branch. It also emphasized the importance of diverse teacher workforce that reflects the state student population. As we know, there's a high population of minorities and Latinos and Hispanics across the state of Maryland, just not in Baltimore County. I do know that in some of the other districts, deportation has been a high issue here recently. And students have been unenrolling, they've been moving. We haven't had that here just yet. Hopefully we won't, but we still have a high population of ESOL students. We have a high population of students that need support and things like that, so we need them qualified. I will address the issue of minority, right? The highest population in Baltimore County is not Black, but it is a population that we need to make sure that we have a reflection within our school system. That is something that we want to make sure is at the forefront as a solution as we're moving forward when we're talking about diverse and high quality teachers. Any questions so far? Okay, move on. Pillar 3. Pillar 3 is the epitome of what I enjoy because my background is in school counseling 30 years. College and career readiness is the bridge over troubled waters. And this pillar is to ensure that all students are prepared for college, career, and life by providing access to rigorous coursework, career and technical education, and college and career pathway. I can tell you that is an uphill battle. That is an uphill battle that is great on paper, but hard to implement. And it's hard to implement because of the diverse background and needs of our students. We have students that are tested, that need special education, that are untested. We have parent homes where students are just trying to make it work. We have classrooms where there are substitute teachers. We do have classrooms where there are highly motivated, qualified teachers that are there that are making it work every day. There's an imbalance, but at the end of the day, it is about the student. But we do have students that struggle. And we do have students that need additional support outside of just tutoring and mentoring. So is this viable, especially with the partnership with CCBC? Yes, for those who may not know, Baltimore County does have a partnership with the Community College of Baltimore County, as well as the University of Maryland system. The University of Maryland system with BCPS has a pathway that ensures that students are getting the basic foundations, especially in math, that would help them transition smoothly if they want to go to a 4-year school. The problem is most students don't want to take a math in their senior year of high school. Before, it was just 3 years. Now it's a mandatory 4 years. Most of our students are not getting past Algebra 2 because they don't have the foundational understanding, right? But then we have the CCBC and the BCPS pathway, which allows students to attend their local community college if they are now part of the AVID program and take up to 8 credits per year free. Now, I will say this, stand up, BJ, for a second, inhale. These 2 students actually was a part of the CCBC BCPS pathway. At 15, he earned his associate's degree, all paid for by CCBC. Haley was able to also earn transfer credits that went to Spelman with her through her CCBC dual enrollment. He transferred with 63 credits to Morehouse, she transferred with 38. Thank you. So, I'm saying that to say that the collaboration with BCPS and CCBC would allow our students to achieve this. What I love about the CCBC and the BCPS dual pathway and dual enrollment is that students are able to go in at a level that is comparable to their academic rigor. They are not forced to go into a level higher than they can anticipate, lower than they can anticipate, but also support them where they are. And if you have a student or know of a student that has an IEP or a 504, CCBC has a department like any other community college, which is the Disability Support Services, that will take their accommodations and they transfer with them at CCBC and be supported. So this pillar under the Maryland Blueprint, in conjunction with CCBC, is attainable. Now, let's do the flip side. CCBC, just this past fall, pulled back on the Maryland Blueprint, I should say, dictated to CCBC and BCPS how much funding would cover credits. So now, unlike these students that were able to earn a degree or get close to a degree, it's now limited. So most students may or may not take advantage, but then most parents
don't understand that they have an opportunity for their students to go to school. Sitting in this audience, I am advocating to you to please take this knowledge in a partnership with CCBC back to your community. Take this knowledge of this pillar and the relationship with the University of Maryland system back to your community, because there are ways out. There are ways to get them through. Any questions? Yes.
I think one of the problems in the community is that the communities don't know the programs that's offered a lot of times.
Yes, and her question was, one of the problems is that the information is not getting to the ground. She's absolutely correct, because as a parent who had 4 children going through BCPS, you can't see the grade, but I had a lot great going on that day that even the black guy didn't keep the grade in. Because there was a lack of knowledge, and I come from 30 years in education. So even as an educator, even as a leader in my community, I still became a student of the game. And you're correct. We do know that higher education institutions have good intentions. Their intentions are to get the information to the ground. But then there are gaps that prevent the information. And this is where I'm asking you, the audience, the constituents, become the student of the Maryland Blueprint. Become a student of Pillar 1, become a student of Pillar 2, become a student of Pillar 3. The one thing that I can say for this pillar for BCPS is go back to the student handbook. The student handbook for BCPS, if you have students or not, has it laid out, and that is their Bible for the guide. CCBC has a handbook that's laid out. University of Maryland system has a handbook that lays it out. What they don't do is interconnect, because it's a trifecta. That's a whole nother program. But to answer her question, the information is not to the ground, but this is where you have an opportunity to become a little more knowledgeable by a little research. The more you become knowledgeable in research and in understanding it, the more empowered you become from an advocacy standpoint. Thank you for that question. Any other questions on Pillar 3? And that trifecta a little bit? Okay, great. To next one, Pillar 4. More resources for students to become successful. This overview talks for students that are receiving services in special education, that are impoverished, ESOL students whose first language is not English, and then a wraparound. This is the most important pillar of them all, outside of Pillar 5. Why? Because this wholeheartedly involves the community. Every person sitting at this table falls in Pillar 5. From your personal experience to your professional experience to the combination of two, from people that you know that's in your household that's in a position of influence, or they might be dealing with something, this is Pillar 5. And the more that you become empowered by what's happening or what's going on through trial or tribulation or just by happenstance, you become a solution to Pillar 5. Just by your communication, just by serving, just by showing up. You showed up today. Hopefully, when you walk out of here, you're going to show out, because you have a spot in Pillar 5. And so Pillar 5 aims to close achievement gaps to provide equitable students for all students. I don't want to read from this, because guess what? Everybody right now live in underserved communities. It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not an ESOL thing. It's a humanity thing. People have lost their jobs by thousands since January. People, unemployment, people, pensions, things are being cut. So right now, all of us are underserved. But guess what? We have a duty for the next generation to kind of help get them through. But as I stated, as a branch right now, an executive committee of 14, we cannot do it alone. I will say it again, we cannot do it alone. Okay? So we need you and your expertise in your area where you feel like you can give, even if it's an hour a week. Help us out in an area. Pillar 5, that's fine. Pillar 5, governance and accountability. This is where we hold people accountable, not just people sitting on the Board of Education.
Not just the superintendents, not just the county council, but your neighbor. Look to your left. I like this because in my dissertation, this is what they say. Look to your left. Oh. Look to your left. Look to your right. Look behind you. Look in front of you. And that's who you hold accountable. The layman people. The people who put their pants on the same way you do every day. Even though it might be a little tight. It's okay. You still get them on. That shirt, like you busting out the seams, but you got it on. That's who you hold accountable. Can we hold the people that we vote into office? Absolutely. But guess what? They just like us. But the more that we can band together and not just talk about it, but bring actionable solutions, we're moving the needle forward. So I'm holding you accountable like you're gonna hold us accountable. Our job in our committee, being here each and every day, showing up, even if it's not 100 people that's showing up on our active roster, but because you're here today, we want to hear from you so that you can let us know what's going on, and we're going to give it back to you. So make that accountability with those people you talk to every day, because the number one thing that's going to break this is building those relationships, right? We look great up here in all black, if you can tell. But if you don't know who we are, it's not going to matter. So hold them accountable, but hold yourself accountable. But there is an accountability to the Maryland Blueprint. It's called the Accountability and Integrity Board. Go to the next one. So Maryland Fusion involved thoughtful and comprehensive coordination between many agencies and institutions, including the NAACP. Our part is to hold those local politicians and those voted in office to do what they need to do, with hopes that they will stick to what they're saying based off the criteria that they fall within, because they're also a limit to what they can do. But go to the next one. This accountability, the AIB board holds the state and local governments accountable for implementing the blueprint with fidelity and evaluates whether blueprint outcomes are being. We just heard from Nick Stewart say from Pillar 2 that a few years ago, Baltimore County tried to match the teacher salary at $60,000. Year 2, they tried to break it. Who are we gonna hold accountable? Where do we go? Where do we start? Is it the Board of Education problem? Is it the County Council problem? Is it our interim county executive? Is it the Maryland State Department of Education? Is it the new president that's in place right now? Who do we hold accountable? But what are we holding them accountable to? Do you even know where to start? Well, after tonight, yes. Why? Because there are how many pillars? What's number 1? Early childhood. What's number 2? What's number 3? What's number 4? And what's number 5? Now I'm holding y'all accountable. That's where we start. That accountability, leading back up to the accountability and the implementation board, ensures that we are moving the needle forward. Now, do you have to be an educator to be a part of this? Do you have to be a parent with kids currently in the K-12 system? No. Can you be a business owner? Can you be a serial entrepreneur? Could you be a guardian? Could you just be an interested, passionate person? Yes. That's a part of all we're asking. Go to the next one, DJ. Stop there, go back. Go forward. Where are you going? You're running. Run for it. That's stop. This is the Maryland Blueprint overall. Don't worry. If you signed in today, I will make sure that you get this PowerPoint. This is all you need to know. And I didn't go through this because it's not for me to read to you. It's just for you to know, but then for you to figure out and find out where you feel like you can fit. Now, again, this was just an overview. I didn't go deep into it because this is not the time for it. But I do want you to understand how our branch, with your help, can make a difference in education. And the thing about this falls back to Pillar 4. Education dives into criminal justice. It dives into legal redress. It dives into environmental.
It dives into economic sustainability. It dives into LGBTQIAWXYZ, because you know it's a new letter each week, right? It dives into community coordination. It dives into serving. And these are all of the committees that our branch has, which is why we need your help. Education is only a part of it, but it ties into everything who we are as a county, as we are as people, as we are moving forward. And so I will make sure that you get this if you want, or you can simply just go on Maryland Blueprint and find it. But now it's time for open discussion. Any questions so far here? Because I'm not going to read this. I think I just gave an overview for the most part. And now it's time for us to dive into discussion. Go forward. Forward. Call to action. Go forward. Discussions and conversations. So my question is, where do you think that you have the most passion? Is it pillar 1? Is it pillar 2? Pillar 3? Pillar 4? Or pillar 5? So I'm gonna ask pillar 1 to come to this front table. If you're not already here, pillar 1. Raise your hand, Secretary Williams. Pillar 1. Pillar 2, Judith, raise your hand for me. That's pillar 2. That is teachers and leaders. Pillar 3 is back there with Mr. Nick Stewart, college and career readiness. Pillar 4, I'm gonna make it this table with Chairman Savio McLaughlin and Anna, which is more resources and like the community part. And pillar 5 is governance and accountability. I'm gonna ask you to go to those respective areas that you find that resonate with you the most. All right, let's roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So pillar 1 is up here. Pillar 2 is where Ms. Judith is. Look, everybody run into college career readiness. Pillar 4 is resources right here, and pillar 5 is accountability and implementation. As you can see, it's a lot of people rolling, right? And so I want you to just have a conversation of what it means when you think of early childhood education and the impact on education. Same thing with college and career readiness. What do you see in some of the pitfalls and some of the solutions to college and career readiness? Teachers, salaries, and leaders. What does it mean? Where can we recruit? What do you see as some of the gaps, right? That's what your discussion is. Number 4, resources. Where are the resources? What are some of the gaps and some of the things that are of issues within our community right now? And then what are some of those solutions? And then number 5, accountability and governance. How can we hold people accountable? And what does those metrics look like? Or what could it look like? This is coming from you, the people. It is currently 7:30. I'm gonna ask 15 minutes of open discussion. We need a person to report out. That's not what I came here for. Is this like a workshop? You got it. 5, you said 10 minutes? 10 minutes, 10 minutes. My chairman said 15 is too long. 10 minutes, discussion, pros, cons, solutions, right? What are some problems? What are some solutions? And then let's hear what your thoughts are. Again, pillar 1, at early education. Pillar 2, teachers, increase, high quality in teachers. Pillar 3, college and career readiness. Pillar 4, resources in the community. Pillar 5, governance and accountability. We'll see you at 7:40.
Why is it?
Grab a pen.
That's a way.
Okay, we got about 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, and then we need one person that's this first person to let us know what your committee or your group felt about that pillar, okay? Thank you.
What's that?
You know, it's okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got about 1 minute so we can wrap up and we can have one person ready to just share what you came up with. Andy, come here, please. Haley. We're going to do, can we start with table 5, pillar 5? Yes, is that it? Okay, so we're gonna do reverse. We're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, okay? So we're gonna have the representative from pillar 5 tell us what you came up with, and then we'll go with 4, then 3, then 2, then 1.
Okay, so our pillar, we had accountability and implementation. Yes. Okay. And I want to get to a bus. So problems. Okay. Lack of awareness. Okay. Lack of transparency. You have no oversight. All right. Some of the solutions we came up with was we want to get involved. We want to do research. We want to raise consciousness. And essentially, I think we came up with the term "shine the light."
Shine a light on it.
Yeah. So, to get it out in the public domain, or perhaps the political domain, where you can get the right organizations and leadership involved to sort of remedy this problem. So I want to give a sort of a real life example that I think is associated with this. So, for example, many people have joined the armed forces to serve the country, and many of these people that came back and that were in conflict, they sustained service-connected disabilities. And so they're entitled to apply for compensation to help them to deal with their service-connected disabilities. So there was research that was done, and it was determined that a lot of minorities were not getting compensated for these benefits, partially because they were not informed or aware. And in contrast, many of the non-minorities were getting approved for these service disabilities. And what this means now is that you get a check if you from the government to help you manage and get along with your injuries. And by the way, this check is tax-free at the federal level. You pay no taxes on this for the rest of your life. When the statistics were looked into in depth, there was a big gap between the number of non-minorities that were getting approved and the number of minorities that were not getting approved. So the IG, the Inspector General, and there were lawsuits filed, and so the conscience was raised and shined the light to sort of remedy this situation. So this is just one real life example as we have this task to sort of underscore the importance of accountability and implementation. And by the way, in all areas in life. So we all probably have experiences somewhere along the line that we can relate to. A more current example would be with the current POTUS in office, the President of the United States. I'm sorry.
Right, the last thing was there's a meeting, they have monthly meetings, this board,
Yeah.
and the next one is June 26th from 1 to 5, it's virtual, so that's an action that you can take to actually hold, the Blueprint for Maryland's Future, hold folks accountable to that and educate yourself on what's going on.
And we'll add that to the meeting minutes, but we got to go.
Okay. All right. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right here.
Could you go back to the other slide, sorry? Just the one with the different pillars on it? Perfect. No, yes, that one, awesome. So we were pillar 4, more resources for students to be successful. So my colleague Jarrett and I are both library managers here in Baltimore County. So I manage the Woodlawn Library and Jarrett manages the Randallstown Library. So I knew, yes, west side is best side. And so I knew right away, I was like, Jarrett's gonna be a table 4, I'm definitely gonna be a table 4, because we're all about this. We're all about providing resources for the community. And I especially work right next to Woodlawn High School. So I'm always thinking about specifically the high school students there, but we also are a Storyville branch. So I'm thinking about the birth of 5 kiddos too. And Jarrett's branch, as well as my branch, and all the branches in Baltimore County do a lot of, we're trained a lot in early literacy, but we do story times. We're also teaching parents the importance of reading with, playing with, singing with, talking with your children, and how that influences the rest of their lives and the rest of their career readiness too. One thing that Jarrett and I have talked about is, even though we are librarians, we're both very involved in our communities, we're both attending a lot of community meetings, we don't know what the pathway from BCPS to CCVC or BCPS to the University of Maryland system is. If a student comes into us and asks us about it, we're gonna Google it, and we're gonna figure it out from them, because that's what we do. We help connect people to information, but we don't know what to say right away. When we're talking to parents, we don't know exactly the answers. What are the requirements? What is involved in that? So I think part of what you were saying, getting the information on the ground, that's where we are struggling as people that connect community members to information. One thing that Jared and I were talking about was maybe like some kind of centralized resource guide for students and parents with students and parents of families. That's obviously a lot of work, involves a lot of organization, involves a lot of collaboration and different organizations working together, but that's something that, might help. And then we were also just kind of brainstorming what we could do, as professionals in our organizations, and maybe some kind of like parenting class or guardian class session series or something like that, that takes us from, hey, here's what it means when you read to your kid, here's how it sets them up for success. Once they get to this age, here's how you can set them up for success, and different things like that. So really just trying to brainstorm ways to get that information that we know exists in a more accessible manner for everybody. It's just kind of what we were working.
Hi again, Nick Stewart with Table 3, College and Career Readiness. Actually, building on that point, we talked quite a bit about empowering parents to step up, to have the knowledge, to take accountability, and to be part of their school community. And that is particularly true of the ESOL community, where there might be barriers to entry into the full life of the school community. But we also talked about it at a very broad level. In fact, there are lots and lots of resources that are available, from P-Tech and early college access. We have Avid, we have work-based learning. And it's tough, I think, for both kids and parents and their caregivers to really understand the resources that are available to them. So we're talking about, holding career fairs, doing this at the middle school level as kids are entering into middle school, engaging with them early in this respect, but also meeting them where they are. So if there are ways to make this interactive, to provide education, and also to streamline the way that we offer this online and the way that people might meet us on their mobile devices as well. This group had a ton of good ideas in that respect. But ultimately, this comes down to, again, trying to engage the community, to showcase to kids what it is that is possible. We talked about volunteership, how important that is, and if folks just gave 1 hour of their time, the type of difference and commitment that would make. And then we also talked about normalizing and engaging with counselors and therapists in the school community to make sure that everyone is working together for the betterment of children as they seek that next chapter for a good paying, family-sustaining job. Did I miss anything, Barry? All right, good.
Thank you.
You need me to stand up?
Yes. We want to see you.
Well, hello, my name is Tiara. Ours was high quality and diverse teachers and leaders. I actually work in HR for BCPS, so this is actually my job. So this is a very hard job because most of you probably know for year after year after year, the number of students enrolling in teacher education programs is declining. And for people of color, it is a very small percentage of us who are actually entering the field for a number of reasons. So we have some solutions that I can say that BCPS is trying to implement. However, because of the lack of available individuals who want and have a desire to teach, it is hard to fill these teaching positions. So we have a large number of substitute teachers who may or may not have been teachers in the past. I've never been a teacher, but if I wanted to be a substitute, as long as I have a bachelor's degree, I can get in a classroom to teach your kids. So that could be anybody. So more training for our substitutes, because if we have to use them, then they need to have the tools in order to do their best to educate students. For our para-educators or teacher assistants, we do currently have a Grow Our Own program where we are encouraging our para-educators to participate in cohorts to become certified Maryland teachers, so that's a plus. It's very new, so we haven't really seen the fruits of that just yet, but it's in the works and we need more of it. The higher salaries, we know teachers don't get paid enough. So that will always be a need. But when you don't have the pool to hire, then it does become challenging. So hopefully, once the budget situations work themselves out, we will be able to hopefully maintain that 3-year TAPCO negotiated pay scale for teachers. HBCU recruitment, we do that. We don't typically get a lot. I think part of that could be because of media perception of school systems in general. There's not a lot of news reports that come out for positive things. A lot of it is what went wrong or what you could have done better. So with marketing, like, I don't think I've ever seen an advertisement where, oh, be a teacher, it's fun. Like, you get to do these things, and the people who do want to teach, they want to teach because they want to make a difference. So I think if we can push those stories of those people who really are loving the profession, we could get more people interested in becoming teachers, particularly those who didn't go traditional pathways. So our CTE programs, I'm sure the auto shop teacher didn't want to be a teacher when he got started. He wanted to fix cars and probably own a garage. But we need individuals like that who may not think that what they do is a teachable skill. That said, the CTE programs, we need students in those. So if we have teachers that they can relate to, because sometimes we think a teacher looks a certain way. But it might be someone who just wears t-shirts and jeans and got tattoos, but he might be the best teacher in the school. Our students do need to see that so that they don't think they have to fit a certain mold. This is not a solution, but I think partly because of the negative perception that can come with teaching, we need to somehow have better relationships with the parents, because a lot of times it's the respect. And I talk with teachers from other countries who say they don't want to teach anymore because our students are disrespectful and it wouldn't be tolerated in their country, so they choose not to teach anymore. So I don't know what the solution is to that, but.
Good evening, everyone. So we had pillar one, early childhood education, and what we discussed in early childhood education is similar to all of the problems that we've discussed in each pillar, correct? And the issue is more so about the communication between the pipeline here, between the active parents, to the students, to the teachers, then to the administration, and then back the other way, from the administration to the teacher, to the students, to the parents. So some of the issues that we talked about how there are some students that are able to, come to school where they have issues from what's going on at home, from the parents. We have some parents that are not knowing what's going on at the schools, not participating at the schools. We also have issues with teachers, that the teachers are not active or active enough. We have teachers that may not, as you just talked about, may not want to work their job, but they're there. So simply just the fact that the requirement is only a bachelor's degree. And we also have some issues just in between where it's the teachers and the administration. Administration is not providing enough resources, not providing enough support to our teachers. And I've heard a lot from the teachers, and this is just from teachers of all students, even with disabilities, from all races, all ethnicities. And the issue is that the administration is not supporting our teachers to do their jobs and do their jobs to the best of their abilities. And a lot of the teachers, you gotta think, even if you are a teacher that you know you're gonna always go the extra mile, knowing that you don't have someone behind your back to support you, it kind of makes the job a little harder, just a little harder than what it has to be. So those are some things that we've had discussions about that we wanna address. And more importantly, the actual communication amongst all of the parties here, right? How are we going to get the correct knowledge, information to the people that we need to get it to? Meaning from the students to the actual parents. How do we get them the information? How do we get them involved? How do we get them to participate? And same thing to the teachers as well. How can we get support behind them to get them to get involved, to participate, to want to be there and actually teach and educate our students? So those are some of the things that we had discussions about, and just understanding how we can bridge that gap to bring everybody together. And simply put, if we can't communicate with each other and, break open, the icebreaker, right? To really have that conversation with each other, how are we going to actually move forward? So that's where we're at.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. So before my third intern leaves, Aima O, come to the front for a second. He drove all the way up from PG County today. He is a student at PG County Community College, and your graduate, sorry. So we are excited to have him, and that completes our triage of our new interns with Haley, Aima, and PJ. Can you guys come down for a second and get a picture by Chairman Jeffrey real quick? Aima gotta go. Come on, Haley. And so we are excited to have our first ever set of interns that's gonna help not just elevate our branch, but also their resume and getting connected with you guys.
Because sometimes you might get phone calls from them, sometimes you might get emails from them, and you would, be able to understand how we're coming together and helping them, and we appreciate them so much. So I thought that was Ayman when he came. I was like, man, that dude looked familiar. I missed his email today that he was coming. Thank you. I'll see you on Saturday, okay? All right, thank you. Hugs. All right, so as we wrap up this part, we said a lot. And theory is great, and as we can hear a lot of tapping into the qualitative analysts within myself, you can hear some common threads, and then you can hear some uniqueness. But what I'm asking, move on to the next one, call of action for me, please. There are ways to get involved, and this is who we are as a branch. We are not an organization that just sit around and talk. If anyone knows me, I hate talking. I'm really a planned person. By the time we get finished this, we got 2 more events this week, and I'm already thinking about our Know Your Rights mini tour that's coming up in August, our event in October, and our holiday party in December. That's how we roll, right? But become a member or renew your membership, volunteer your time. We're asking you to join a committee, even if it's just to listen in. Everyone has experience, but we're looking for people to get their hands dirty. No, not really digging muds. We have chair people. We're looking for people to help support the chairman, their mission. Our chairman all know that we are aligned with the Maryland State Conference, the nationals. So we're coming down a pipe, so we're needing people to help fill those committees. And as Chairman Berry stated, we already got 7 events coming up in the next 3 weeks. That is the most we've had in like 3 years, Thurman, in itself, right? Move forward, BJ. Here are some of our committees that we're asking you to get involved with. Membership, always looking for me, even if you just want to jump in that day. And not just sit there, but really talk to people, engage, find out what's happening, have them sign up. Our political action, Chairman Williams, that's sitting there, hands raised. That committee is all about voter registrations and Census 2030, right? Registration or voting is not just about 2024, 2026. It is keeping people in the mix as to why they're voting and who they're voting for and what issues matters to them. Education, we've said enough. This is the heart of why. In case you didn't know, the Randallstown NAACP 7032B was founded on education almost 30 years ago. It was a unique charter that started because of the education in this corridor. We're taking this, me as the 4th president, with our executive committee, and we're running with it, so we need your help. LGBTQIA, most people don't understand that this is an NAACP initiative. Let me say that again. If you go to the national website, the Maryland State Conference, LGBTQIA is a part of our culture, whether it's personal or not. These are individuals that we respect. These are individuals that are our daughters, our uncles, our brothers, our neighbors, our friends, and we treat them just as human as anyone else. And they have rights, and they have issues, and we're gonna stand with them and alongside them. Community coordinating, Chairman Berry, she is the person that's gonna help bring us together. Criminal justice and legal redress go hand in hand. When veteran, we need your input. Moving forward, BJ. This ends, go back to the, hold up, sorry. Oh, there it is. Okay, nope, that's not the one. See, we was coordinated, and then, there we go. Okay, so we, move that down. As we begin to wrap up, these are some of the things we're asking you to keep in mind. Go back up, community outreach. We're looking to connect with daycare and early childhood centers. Go back to pillar 1, right? It's a ton of them in this area. Some of them are closed, some are open, some are on a wiggle room. Those business owners are fighting to keep their doors open. They're fighting to keep students enrolled. They're fighting to help parents to support what's happening. They are the bridge or the entry level into students within our education system. We're looking to connect with business owners. nonprofits, for-profits, agency leaders, homeowners association leaders, community activists. Everybody has a role in a manner in which they can help, but we do it the NAACP way. We don't do it anybody else's way. We don't do it nonprofit way. We don't do it a for-profit way. We follow the guidelines, the Constitution, and the bylaws of the NAACP. And for this branch, under this leadership, with this executive committee, we hold to the light of what national requires of us, because we don't want to be in the news in a wrong way. So roll down. Coming up, we have our Know Your Rights mini conference. The reason why we're doing this is because there are rights under the NAACP that most people are unfamiliar with. So we're going to pick up the gravel, which is also part of the national NAACP OWL Project 2025. You know, Project 2025 is something that was on the ballot. The NAACP came with our Project 2025, which is the fight against Project 2025. In our leadership training this past January, part of our executive committee and committee members wanted to figure out what we could do. So we came up with this Know Your Rights conference, which is unique to us, and we are trademarking it, so don't go out and go tell everybody else. And we're hoping you can join us on August 23rd. Then we have our winter brunch and charity fundraiser. Again, this is all in your, the minutes that was sent out. Registration opens June 1st. Please go down. And most and foremost, if you're not joining us this Saturday at our first gala, that you will join us at our holiday Christmas party on December 1st. December 6th, this is to raise general operations and scholarships. And registration opens on July 1st, and then our Freedom Fighter campaign, which comes up in 2 weeks, June 8th through the 14th. Our goal is a hefty goal. Can y'all say hefty? Hefty. We are trying to raise $3,000. Listen, we are nonprofit, we got bills, we got things we want to do. We are hoping you can do a donation, you can donate to the scholarship, whatever the case might be. Most and foremost, your involvement and contribution does not have to be monetary, although we will take it, but we do want your time. We do want you to help join the fight because it's a lot of work. Our next, and if you haven't liked us on Facebook, all you gotta do is look us up. Our next, well, you're not part of our executive committee, but if you have a proposal for our branch, we need it 7 days prior so that we can talk about it as an executive committee. We'll get back to you before the next general meeting. Our next in-person general meeting will be on June 25th. So that gives us 30 days, everyone, to make a difference. Say 30 days.
30 days.
I'm not convinced. Say 30 days.
30 days.
I'm not convinced. Say 30 days.
30 days.
Come on, I need y'all loud and proud. Let me hear y'all.
30 days.
We got 30 days to make a difference. Move the needle. Hold your self-reflection accountable and your neighbor. I want you to be back here 30 days with a friend. Even if you gotta bring your boo thing, your boo-boo thing, your cousin, your friend, your neighbor, that person that's already exhausted, we got maybe 20 people, 15, let's make it 30. We understand that we're rebuilding. That's evident. But we're strong as a committee. Internally, we're great. Externally, we're trying to now build on it. So we ask you to bring a friend and join a committee. My name is Dr. Takima Dorsey. I am the president, first vice president. Secretary Williams, please stand. Judith, committee at large. Judith Parrott. Anna Becker, please stand up. Committee member at large. Sheridan Berry, please stand up. Clarence Harrell, please stand up. Nate Kepler, please stand up. Andy Wilson, please stand up. Lamont Cook in the back, please stand up. This is your executive committee for our Randallstown NAACP from the bottom of our, Ingrid Samuel McLaughlin, please stand up. I apologize. I see you like looking behind me. I was like, wait, we thank you for being here today. Please grab a photo in front. We make sure you get it. But most importantly, please sign up and be a part of the fight. We thank you so very well. Thank you so very much for seeing you.
Meet you. What's your name again?
Come on, get your photo, people. Oh, Shantae Thompson. Where did she go? She's not in here. She walked out. Okay.
We're trying to now. Or you could, or here, or. So next meeting. Well, when you're out and about, you it's on the way home. It's like you want, is your grandson? Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. You know what? That's good.
You want any Cheetos? You want any Cheetos? Yeah. I'm gonna go back. I'm just gonna get it. I've been out for like a year now. I do podcasts. I need a break. You did? Yeah. It wears you out. It does. Okay, that's either yes.
Oh, my children are grown. All right, man. I got you on mute. But I've been busy. No, I mean, because I want to get out there at some of your I've been in Randallstown for like 30 years, retired lieutenant in Baltimore Police Department. Just retired like putting that behind me. And now I'm yeah, right there. So I've been substituting all
That's who read that. Yeah. And the other lady who works for the homeless. He was like,